Your panel was really fun.
Amazing.
Actually, I made notes, and I want to refer to them like a geek.
Okay, yeah. Wait, where were you listening at the panel?
Well, I was.
You were right there, right?
I was like this behind the camera.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Well, I love the panel because you're fun, playful. You seem to have a wicked sense of humor. You screamed insanely loud. I almost lost my hearing. It was amazing.
I mean, I kind of like my scream. I didn't realize.
Can we do a quick one?
Oh my God! Really?
Let's hear it.
I haven't done one in forever.
I guess you have to really get into it.
Not really. Okay, you want like a terrified one? You want like a big one? Or what do you want?
Surprise us.
Okay, wait, ready?
Oh my God, my eardrum.
And you're a great storyteller.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Thank you. You do that thing where you do that thing when you close your eyes, like you're meditating. The craft, yes.
But of course, duh. No, just kidding.
The voice too, and because I was looking at your body of work, and you've done some voice stuff, and I can see like you could do more of that. It's kind of like a lost art for you because you're so good, your voice is so good, and you're so emotive with it that I imagine if you applied for more of these kind of cool. Convention happy anime roles so you can like travel and make $1 million a day trying to get signed out of it.
Yeah, that was always like one of the things that I really wanted to do was like give my voice to like a Disney movie or something like that. I think that would be so cool to do. But I think, I mean, I used to do a lot of voice work when I was younger. Like, you know, when they have like scenes where they need kids like laughing and like saying an extra line here and there, like ADR is like a skill of mine. It should be on my fucking resume. Like it should be like special skill, ADR. But I mean, I think maybe I have a lisp. Like my S's are pretty strong. So I think that's why maybe I don't really like.
And some really huge guy with a cigar. She's not going to make it in this town.
Yeah,
She's
no, literally. I think I've auditioned for like so many like shows for voiceover, and it's like they're like, "Oh yeah, thank you." I'm like, cool, great. But Lou does them all the time.
Yeah, I actually mentioned that to him because when I prepare for interviews, I don't just read the first line of Wikipedia. I usually read the whole damn page, and then I'll drill deeper into IMDb, and then I'll search for related articles because I just want to have something interesting. I don't want to be like you saying to me earlier. I'm a machine at a convention. No, exactly. You try to mix it up and make it interesting.
Exactly.
And actually, you had a story that reminded me. I saw Marina Sirtis at London Comic Con and also Toronto Comic Con, and she had this story about. Working overseas in some European or some kind of formerly Eastern European kind of republic like a Bulgaria.
Okay.
And she had a story about seeing horses being abused or just hit. And she said, like you said in your panel, I refuse. I'm not. If they're here tomorrow, I'm not here tomorrow.
Yeah.
She says and she said it's the responsibility of every actor.
It is
to do that, and not just to talk about it and say, well, I was upset about what happened. It's to take a stand and say you won't go any further if you see it. And I find that nice to hear.
Well, it's like, I mean, who's going to stick up for them? You know, they don't have voices. So it's like it's kind of like a child in like an abusive home. It's like they don't have voices, so who's going to stick up for them? You know, it's the same thing with animals. When I see that happening, I do not support it at all. I mean, that's why it bums me out. Like when I did film in Thailand, but you know, I was so excited to go see the elephants. And then when I went and saw the elephants and I saw that they were all chained up, I was like, get me out of here, like right now.
I don't want my dollars to make this continue.
Yeah, it's so terrible.
Honestly, if you spend any time watching anything to do with the news or nature, you want to jump off a cliff. I wanted to say effing cliff because I'm drawing the swear out of you.
I know. I'm sorry. I have a sailor's mouth over here.
I read that Rob Zombie chose you. You were his first choice, and he thought you were genuine. And when somebody as iconic as that does that and says that to you at an early age, it must be really like ego bloating. You must have just walked around like
like an ape.
No. What's that? King Kong ain't got.
By the way, they can't see you, but he just.
I got 3 cameras.
Oh, okay. You know, I didn't know that. I had no idea that that's what Rob said until I was older. So I think if I would have known that then, I mean, Rob and Sherry, I looked at them kind of like. like kind of like my best friends in a way. So I mean, I feel like if I would have known that, and if I would have known who Rob was before I worked with him, I was so naive at that age. I was like, oh, Rob, Devil's Rejects, what's that? I don't even know what that is. And then I later saw it, and now I understand how huge it was and how amazing this guy is. I think, but I think that's what's so beautiful at being that young, that you just don't. That's why Stranger Things. That's why those kids are, doing so well, because they just like. It's all, like I said in the panel, it's all pretend and play and imagination. They're just like having a ball, I think
it's better police nowadays. People know the paths they can take, and there's people on staff that try not. They're just, they're sort of like lawyered up about it.
Yeah. Well, that's just also too. I was talking to Lou about it a little bit, and I think that like kids now, because we have the internet and we have YouTube and we have YouTube stars and we have influencers, I feel like now kids, all they want to do is be famous, rather than I want to like be a princess, I want to be a fair, it's like now we're like seeing like kids their age, like, oh, you could have 1 million followers and make all this money. So it's the imagination is like going away a little bit. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a princess or like an astronaut or something.
You see that a lot because you teach kids.
Yeah.
So you're sort of in their bubble.
Yes.
So you're more acutely aware of what's happening with the younger generation than the average person who maybe doesn't have kids.
Yeah. I mean, I'm half of my class is bringing them back down to their age. I'm like, guys, like, what are you, 21? Stop talking about Donald Trump right now. What are we doing? We're gonna talk about like freaking aliens, like, and princesses battling each other. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are we bringing in, Hillary Clinton? What is going on? They're all growing up too fast.
And I actually saw one thing that I thought was funny. Well, a lot of things I found funny. You actually crashed Lou Temple's panel with his hat on to try and get a rise out of him.
Yeah. But I did. I got that. I got that little thing from him.
There was a cowboy hat attached to this. I'm supporting.
And I still didn't give his hat back. I wish I was wearing it right now. This thing is comfy.
And also, I saw you. I mentioned this to you on the way here because I like to do interviews without cameras.
Yeah.
I'm a loser that way. I saw you stand over there. I didn't take any pictures of you because I didn't want to oh my god, like paparazzi. You're watching the kids cosplay and you're like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah. And it is like, you know what? Let her do her thing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of like.
Well, I wanted to
genuine.
judge.
You're genuine, just like he said. You are.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You wanted to be a judge?
Yeah, I wanted to judge. I like doing that stuff. I just didn't know there was one in this convention. I remember I did what I love. I mean, I love kids. I need to be a mom. Like, I literally need to be a mom. But I love kids so much. And I just think it's so great that they, like, make these little costumes and want to, like, present this stuff. And, like, I mean, I was so, some of these kids are so shy. Yeah. And so this is their, like, little outlet to, like, be seen and be heard, and it's just so cool to see.
Cute. And especially if the more embarrassed or like expressionless they are, and just like wanting to get out of there, the cuter and more adorable it is.
I know, totally.
It's like there's like a paradigm. There's some kind of a mathematical formula with that. I actually, and you touched on in your panel Resident Evil, and you said you love that franchise.
Yeah.
Like you love it. Do you have a favorite in that franchise? And there's been a couple. Some are really like some are just only animated.
Oh, I mean, I love them all. I just like. I love the actors. I love the main actress. I think she's absolutely brilliant. I love the stunts. I love the creatures, the atmosphere, the way that it's shot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like gritty style. Like Quentin Tarantino, like Robert Rodriguez. Like, I like that kind of stuff. And the more dirty it looks, the more I love it.
Do you like the post-apocalyptic
yes.
genres?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. And I don't know why. Don't even ask me. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad didn't like it. My mom didn't like that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure why I gravitated towards that. But I lived in the high desert. So I lived in the desert form. So I love like desert, dirt, like deserted kind of stuff. And, my playing with like kids would be go into the desert and have a desert party. Like that's what we would do,
I got into this because of Planet of the Apes when I was a kid, and I was like, "Wow!" They're like, "This is amazing. This is the planet Earth now. Wow!"
Yeah.
And that's how that began my trajectory. And then anything to do with like a dystopian future, Blade Runner, Alien, anything that was just about like humankind getting its ass kicked, just really fascinated me.
Yeah.
And I've always been sucked.
Do you believe in aliens?
I believe in life in the universe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what form it'll take. It might just be microbial. If you believe...
Do you know, everything that I keep on reading is that they're saying that the aliens are here and we don't even know it. I'm like, that's really weird to think about. Isn't that so crazy?
Neil deGrasse Tyson says,
it may be that life on Earth was seeded by bacterial stowaways on rocks that were cast free from Mars.
That's mine.
Yeah, it's so much. Life is so much bigger. There's so many things so much bigger than each and every one of us.
You know, this is such a ridiculous interview because I didn't have time to plot out this like a graph, so I'm reading these out of order. But
oh yeah.
So you began. You and Lou have something in common in that you both were really into baseball at a younger age, and he went crazy with it. I don't think you quite went, but are you still into baseball? Does that actually like change? Does that have something to do with your personality right now? Because you're very outgoing.
Yeah, I think being raised as, my dad raised me up as a tomboy. I was a boy. Mm-hmm. I was a boy, so I like played all the sports. I was super competitive, and I loved teamwork, and I'm more about like making the play rather than like, let's be the cheerleaders on the side and maybe do like half-ass the work. I was such a boy as a kid, and I think that that's definitely helped me be who I am today. I'm definitely not high maintenance, and I'm definitely not girly. So I'm definitely kind of like one of the dudes. So I think that that's why I kind of get along with a lot of men and a lot of like, not a lot of women, but some women I do get along with, which is really shocking sometimes.
I was thinking of how you can slaughter that saying, men want to be her.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Maybe?
But yeah, I grew up really competitive. Like I was a swimmer. That was my other thing. If I wasn't going to be an actor, I was going to go to the Olympics for swimming. Like that was my thing. But my swimming is like I didn't have friends because I was constantly training. It was you're in the water at 5 a.m. You go to school. You're in the water at night. You go to bed. Like there's no hanging out. There's no parties. There's no anything like that. And I think that's why I kind of was like, well, at least with acting, I get to be around people and I get to be like bubbly and like play around. With swimming, it's me and in my goggles and my my cap in a water.
Yeah.
Like I don't get to like interact with people as much, or it's me looking at you. I'm gonna kick your ass in like 2.0 seconds.
All right.
So I feel like, which is not my personality, because I love human connection. I don't know. I think it's my pops, my dad. He's like that as well. He's big personality, so I think I get that from my dad.
I mean, with your sports background and your tomboyishness, as you say, I'm not going to say it. You said it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to.
Yeah.
But you seem like the kind of person who would want to do as much of their own stunts as humanly possible.
Oh yeah.
You must just get hurt and like.
Yeah. Yes.
That is great, and because like directors hate people like that. They just want they want you to accept it so that their rates go down.
I think Rob was a little like. I mean, he wasn't like bummed out, but he, every time I saw my stunt double, I was like, dude, why? And then I'd see my stunt girl do it, and he's like, okay, just do it half. She just did it full, just do it half. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to fucking watch this girl do exactly what I could do, but better. So there's that little competitive thing that comes out with like stunts. I'm like, I got this. Like I just took up boxing because that's what I want to do. Is I want to be able to do like a fight scene, like Atomic, with what's her name? Oh God, why am I drawing?
Charlize Theron.
Yes, that's my dream.
She's like an insanely talented person.
She trained for that. She wanted to show it that she could do it. She trained. She worked really hard. That's what I want to do. I've been wanting to do that since I was 12.
Listen, I know. I don't want to take too much of your time because people do come up to you constantly. And for the convention, I don't want to send any weird signals.
Yeah.
People approach you constantly. Why? We're at a convention. We're at Cornwall Area Pop Event.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this thing.
That thing. This is what I've read online. We have some projects, upcoming projects, and maybe ones that aren't listed.
Yes.
But there's a film called Penance Lane, which is kind of like an ex-con in a shitty home, and then stuff happens.
Yes.
Getaway Girls, an indie thriller, Weekend with Friends gone awry, I'm supposing. Abeyance, a dark Fountain of Youth story, I think, something like that.
Yeah, yes.
Is there anything you can tell me about that, or are you just sort of like locked down until it's actually finalized?
I'm locked down, unfortunately. But Penance Lane was with Tyler Mane, so he called me up and he's like, dude, I want to do my first indie movie. Will you do it? And I'm like, obviously, no hesitation. Yes. you know, it's you do favors for all these people. Like I said in the panel, I'm working on some stuff right now, and it's like you call people that you've worked with to hopefully get a family group behind you and make something really solid. The same thing with Lou. We were just talking about some stuff at the table. Like he's producing and he's doing all this stuff, but yeah, a lot of this stuff it's people that I've met in the industry, and they've called me up and they're like, we would love for you to do a favor for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about it. I'm kind of like looking at producing and writing and creating a little bit right now as I fight all the other actresses in Hollywood that are just like being bred. I don't even know where these fucking people are being bred, but there's so many actors in LA. So it's like a punching match to try to get like roles now. It's crazy.
You know, if there was, you'd win that match. I mean, because you have like they're pretty, but you're pretty, and like you have the physicality and the attitude to win.
Thank you.
Is there anything you can't talk about besides that, or are you still like fishing?
Yeah, and still like well, I have a movie that I'm doing in January that's I'm filming in Sweden. It's going to be like a Viking movie, which I'm really excited about. I have not done that genre. See, I do a lot of period pieces. Like I do like 70s, like 50s, or like I maybe have like a, that's so weird when I say this, but I have a period piece face. It's like, it's not.
I thought you were going to say fetish.
Yeah, no, period piece fetish. Thank you. This is the address. You can send all that to. No, but I do. I have like this really unique face that's not like, you see all these models that get like, you know, all the leads in like all these movies and stuff, and it's a certain kind of face. And I don't have that face. I have like this like, oh, I look like I could be like maybe Russian, or I could be like in a 70s movie or like in a 50s movie or something like that. That's why I love like the period movies.
That's
setting.
that old soul thing. I think
also too. Yeah, that as well. I'm definitely not.
I can see you as like you know, the films where the American West.
Yes.
And like you just came from some European country, and you're like, let's make success of new nation or something.
Yes.
You know. I can imagine that.
No, totally.
I had something else to ask, but I'm just like. You're difficult to talk to.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
Wait, is it a bad way, good way?
It's a Laura Vandervoot thing. It's just anybody that just it's done really well, and it's really like cool.
It's
and
my eyes. Is it my eyes? Is it my eyes?
Yeah, I think so.
It's my eyes.
Too. I wish I could remember the other thing. And this is how it ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. It's a saying.
Now we're gonna break into song. Just kidding. Awesome.
My friend can do like an edit point, but I had one last thing to mention, but
take your time. You can edit this. You can make it look pretty.
10 minutes later, 10 minutes of us doing this.
You should do that. You should put the SpongeBob. 10 minutes later. That'd be funny.
Oh well. No, I guess that's it.
Awesome.
It was some cute observation, but then you mentioned something else that was interesting, and we went on that tangent.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh God, what was it I was going to say?
That I'm good with kids.
Well, I know that already. But we mentioned that about the acting. And,
yes.
And I want to be a mom. We covered that ground too.
Single men out there.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Oh, we remembered it.
Yes. It seemed that, you know, when Pat Mastroianni was sitting over there, I read some things where he kind of ran away from Degrassi for a while. He was just wanting to not talk about it because he was like, okay, I'm done with that. I want something else. And I think there was something like that in your background where you liked horror and you liked the genre. And you weren't running away from it, but you were like, I need to do other things because I'm trying not to get too typecast here. And after a certain point, like you've done this, you've done that, you've done TV roles, film roles, you've done stuff that's not that genre. But then you end up just coming back to a comfortable place anyways to continue on something that you love regardless of whether... And that's what I noticed about your career, because it's like you did some horror, you did a lot of other interesting things, Gilmore Girls, whatever, big shows. And then you went back to horror again. It's like it's inevitable, really.
If you love it. That's it. It's also when you're cast as an iconic, you know, as iconic as Halloween and Michael Myers, and as iconic as Laurie Strode. It's hard for anybody to see you in any other way. Mm-hmm. So I'm titled as a Scream Queen. So not necessarily would anyone go, oh, well, why is the Scream Queen girl in a John Hughes movie? Why is she like opposite Ryan Gosling in like a love story? Mm-hmm. You know, people just can't
Is this a dream you've had?
Yeah, fucking every night, every single night it is.
Why is she married to the guy?
No,
Why does she have 10 kids with the guy?
No, but seriously, people don't like see you anything but that, and in that you get typecast. You know, it's hard to get out of it, and hard for people to see you as anything else and see what you're capable of doing, because they just see you as this one character and only see you doing this one thing. I mean, a lot of people have been typecast. It's not that I've tried to get out of it or try to, but I have tried to steer in other directions, because there's a lot of other things that I'm capable of doing. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, no one wants to see me as anything but a scream queen, which I love doing. But once you do this so many times, it's like, okay, it's like going to work every day and you do the same job over and over and over.
Well,
that doesn't satisfy me.
You can outflank those people because if you do really good voice work, they won't have a damn clue.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, oh man, I really enjoyed this Scream Queen and this anime thing I watched. God damn it. You know?
I'm just gonna. I think there's just, my time is gonna come that I'm gonna just land this role and people are gonna be like, holy fuck, she's not just a Scream Queen. She can actually do some of that. Mm-hmm. And then people will be like, okay, cool. Let's like juggle all of this. It just takes time, and there's a lot of actresses, like I said. But I come back to horror because it's what people enjoy to see me in. So it's what they give me.
Do you this is a kind of a left field question. Do you watch SNL at all?
Yeah, I do.
You know, sometimes the way you talk, there's a skit called The Californians.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? You think I sound like that?
I love
the Californians.
I don't miss an episode.
Hey, so we just went on like the 101 and we're about to go into the 405. But then I had to stop at McDonald's. But then after I got at McDonald's, someone got shot. But then I got back onto the 405. Really? That's how you think I talk?
There's a couple of words.
You should have said I sound like Kristen Wiig. That would have been better. Oh my gosh, really?
I had to get that up.
Well, I'm also from Los Angeles, so it makes sense.
It's just, I had to say it because I thought of it like 8 times when I was watching your panel. I thought of it 10 times while I was watching this. And I was like,
really?
If I don't say this, I'll feel
Is
bad.
it why? Is it because I say, what is it a word, or is it the way that I phrase it?
I don't even know. I know it when I hear it. It's kind of like, it's just something that
Is it yeah?
No.
I say that all the time. And whenever I'm in a different city, they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, or I say totally, or I say, yeah, dude.
I think you're.
But I do say A all the time.
Vowels, like it sounds like, oh, there's a way you shape.
That's because I'm trying to keep my spit inside my mouth. Just kidding.
Okay.
And on that note,
yes. Woo! Thank you for watching whatever this is. Thank you so much.